Oh God, why am I doing this? Why am I doing this? My water sewage treatment plant isn't working properly. And in this video, it is highly likely I'm gonna have to get in there. Now, yes, I could pay someone else to do it, but they want quite a lot of money. I'll tell you how much later on. My underground tank is 4,800 litres, and just to give you an idea of how big that is, this is a 1,000 litre IBC tank. So it's basically 5 of them. Now that's not that bad. It's quite, I mean, it's a confined space, but it's just restricted access. I'll show you why. There is a little bit of crap in here when it shouldn't be, so look away if you don't like this stuff. Obviously I'd need to get down in here, so I'd need a ladder, and then the gap between that and that, you're looking at, that's about 200 mil. So how can you fit a ladder down and squeeze down at the same time? Everything is going in here. This water level is higher. The reason why it's higher is because the discharge pipe is not working. If you caught one of my last videos, you will already know I had an electrical problem over there which flooded the tank. I then had a flooding issue because of a storm, and ever since I've been keeping an eye on it, and that's the reason why I know it's not working properly. I will explain and show you exactly what the problem is, but before I do that, I just need to check how full the tank is, and I'm going to use this to do that. So there's a couple of ways of measuring your tank. You can use the sample pot, that's the blue bit at the end. I've got a graph 1-2 clean, or you can do it out of the main tank. And to do that, I just need to make sure that it is aerating. So I'm going to go onto the manual operation and turn aeration on. I bought myself a 1,000 milliliter laboratory measuring cylinder, and I need to fill this up to a litre mark. Engineers, they normally have like a jug that they scoop out and then they fill this up. I just thought, what's the point in getting a jug to fill this out? You might as well just stick this in. You can pay to get it serviced, and that's one of the things that they will probably do. They'll test the levels and they'll do that. It needs to settle for half an hour, so I've put it over there, and then we'll determine how full my tank is. It's going to be fuck all basically. And they'll also check everything else, do it a visual check, and then in here there is a little filter. It looks like a little Brillo pad. I've already cleaned that. And the reason why I wanted to check how full it was is because I need to get it pumped out anyway, regardless. That is a 7-person tank. There's only 2 of us here at the moment. To get it pumped out, it's going to cost less than 150 quid. And then the quote for them to fix it and unblock the blockage, they want £800. So I was like, yeah, fuck that. So I've been on Amazon. I've got a few little tools, splash proof 3M coverall thing, liquid jet, splash spray, and particulate hazards. So that's exactly what's going to be happening. I've got my jet wash. I've got a few extension bits from my jet wash. I've got another few extension bits as well. And there's like spray bits in there. I've got HG kitchen drain and plug unblocker just in case. This is okay to use in septic tank auger things for undoing drain blocks. Now initially I already worked out what was wrong with it, and I even told them over the phone. I'm going to explain exactly what's wrong with it to you in a second. And then I said to him, I assume it would need pumping out first. Anyway, they sent an engineer around. He's confirmed exactly what I've said, but they've got a slightly different approach in terms of fixing it than I have. Hopefully I'll be able to fix it without getting in the tank. I'll pop a little graphic up to show you what it looks like inside. And here's my little drawing to show you exactly how it works. So here's my big tank, okay? I've got an inlet pipe here. That is the outlet pipe. Here is the catch chamber just here. Now off of that, obviously this is simplified down, there is the discharge tube. So that is on the side just there. I don't know if you can see that because it's red and the red pen is running out, so it's just there. Okay, so what happens is water comes in here, and then eventually it comes out of here, gets pumped out like a siphon, and then goes out the outlet tube. Now what is happening, there's 2 water levels. There's one up here, and then there's one down here. So the lower one is when it's discharged, the higher one is when it's getting close to being discharged. Now, bearing in mind, ours should never get up to the higher level because we don't use enough water in there. So it should always be probably about here to here. And that's not happening at the moment because it's at the top level. So here's a side view of that actual discharge pipe. Here's the catch pit. Discharge pipe is there, okay? So what happens is if the water level is up here, okay, then it will enter in this tube. It'll also be up here on the pipe. Then it blows air through, and it's designed in such a way where it pushes the water up here and then it goes out here and then discharges. That is not happening, and the reason why that's not happening is because there's no water in this tube. And then when I look at it, there might be a little bit down here, if I'm lucky. And the reason why there's no water getting in here is because this pipe here is obviously blocked, because otherwise there'd be water going in here. So the engineer's plan is to get in the tank, or struggle to get in the tank. Then they're going to remove the red discharge tube, take it fully out, clean it out, get back in the tank and reinstall it. It's worth mentioning that the manufacturers changed the design of this pipe, and I'm assuming because it can get blocked. So my plan of action is totally different. First of all, I need to have a look at it. I don't want to get in the tank to have a look at it, so I'm going to use my inspection camera. I will bend it like this. I will put it in, and then I will have a look up that tube to see what the blockage is. Hopefully that will give me an idea of what I am dealing with, and then from there I've got 3 different options. The first 2 options, probably quite difficult, but I've got a chance. They involve the spring auger. So I could bend a 22mm piece of copper pipe to hook round. I could thread the actual spring auger through there, hook it in, and then spring auger from the bottom there. The second option is to get some 15mm copper pipe. Just pretend it is. This pipe here, the discharge pipe, is 50mm. It looks like it anyway. I could go in from the top. I can hook it slightly at the bottom with my pipe bender again, and then I'll run the auger down there, and then it will kick it into this, and I'll get it from the top there. Third option involves my jet wash with the attachments that I've got. Now I will need to bend the pipe again like this. So I've got a few different attachments that I can bend, and if I go like that, hook it in, then I can jet wash from here upwards. Hopefully one of them 3 things will work, and I'm hoping I'll actually be able to get the angle on it to get up that pipe. Failing that, I need to get in the tank and be all happy about it, and then use my little hands to poke something up and unblock it. Now I've booked them in for tomorrow, which is a Wednesday. Problem being they can come at any point during the day. That makes life a little bit more difficult for me. You see, the pressure will be on to fix it as quickly as possible, and until that point we can't really shit or anything. So we'll be back to shitting in a bucket again. So hopefully they come in the morning, and then I can sort it out in the afternoon. If they come too late in the afternoon, that means that I'm not doing it Wednesday night in the dark. I will have to do it Thursday morning, so wish me luck. Oh, I almost forgot about this. Sludge at the bottom is 100ml for a litre, so that means it's 10% full. For this particular tank, you can have up to 90% full. So yeah, we've hardly used it. Oh God. Why am I doing this? Why am I doing this? You need to see inside. It's not very nice. Spaceman, I always wanted you to go. Hopefully I don't actually have to get in. You remember I've got a hole in my belly. Who knows that song? There's a hole in my shoe, and it's letting in water, letting in water. I'm just going to show you inside. It's not overly pleasant. There we go. So that's the angled pipe. The thing is, obviously there's still shit around everywhere, so the first thing I need to do is like spray that down. Now there is a chance that that discharge pipe is already unblocked, because I told him this is what's happening, and I said, can you try and get your hose on it? He said, well, I don't know whether it'll work or not, but we can give it a shot. You see that threaded bit there? That just pops out there. The thread's gone in there. I forgot about that. Should I just glue it in or something? "24 hours. Shit. Looks like toilet might be out of bounds till tomorrow. I think I might as well just clean it out, like the top bit at least, and I can get my inspection camera in there to at least have a look, and then I'll decide what I'm doing from there. I can still use the power washer with the hose, I just can't use the gun attachment, but that should be okay for what I need to do just now. Just a quick update on what the pipe actually looks like. So the discharge pipe is here, that's the angle bit that goes off, and then there's like a sweepy bit here, and then so the water can fill up there, but there's also a small tube that goes up here. Now that's only about 20 mil wide, I think, or if that. So there's a chance that this was blocked, or maybe it was blocked here, or maybe this is blocked here. So what I'm going to try and do is get my inspection camera down here to look down here, and then I'll get it round here to look up here. I just need to get this at the right bloody angle to get down there. There we are. And that is the little pipe. That at the end. That looks to be like a pinhole. I say a pinhole, obviously it's only a few mil. I can't get the camera for it. Got it. Okay. Move that there a second. Snot. Oh, what is that? Like, there's a. Hang on. Surely it bends down, doesn't it? It looks clear, doesn't it? Like. I mean, for all intents and purposes, that looks perfectly clear, doesn't it? We can do a test. Now, if I put water directly down that pipe, when it fills out, it should come out there if it's not blocked, yeah? Can you see that? It's emptying. So that is fine. Now I need to do the manual discharge. You know what it might have been? There might have been that, you know, that little tube, it might have been blocked. I reckon that's why they've changed the design. Fucking unbelievable, unbelievable. I didn't need to get in. I didn't need to use my jet wash or anything. It was just having a chat with a bloke saying, that's the problem. Can you try and get your sucker on it? Even though he didn't get anywhere near that, it would have just been enough to unclog it. And funny enough, when I rang up to actually get this pumped out, I hadn't got the quote through from the engineer yet, and I said what the issue was, and I said, like, after it gets pumped out, is the engineer like going to come straight after? And he said, well, just see what happens. So I said, what do you mean? He said, well, it might unclog when you like get it pumped out anyway. So thank fuck I didn't book like anyone else in for £800. The initial engineer that come out, we got charged £100 for him to diagnose it, even though I'd already told them what was wrong with it. So I need to just fill it back up now, because thank God there's no like Ranger or anything, because sometimes these tanks just pop out if you're not weighted them down basically with water. When the water's up high enough, I'm going to check the discharge to see if it drops down to the lower level again. I think whilst I'm waiting for that to fill up, I might as well just prep these just in case I ever need to do it in the future without getting a tank emptied basically. See, obviously that can hook round, but it doesn't hook round enough. I need 180 degrees, so I've got these extra ones here. I'm going to use my pipe benders. Hopefully I'm strong enough. And then in the future, if I need to, that can go on there. I just need to stop it from twisting somewhere. Any ideas? You see these things? These are like little spray nozzles. So I found some online. They've got a little ball joint on the side here. So I've ordered them. In the future, if I ever need to jet this out again, or if it ever gets blocked, I can go down the top of the discharge tube and then angle it slightly. I'll be able to get that little tube on the side. If that air tube is blocked, then it should shoot it out. Once that's filled up, I can test it quickly on the discharge, but I don't know how long it's going to take. I'm sure, does anyone remember how much my pump was set at on my bore? Was it 40 litres a minute, or did he dial it back? Maybe it's like 35. It's going to take a couple of hours, I reckon. Okay, current state of play. It's been about 3 hours. It is almost at the low level. Now, what's happened, when I filled it up, I used a hose and I managed to get all of the floating shit over to one side, or most of it at least, before it went. You see that barrier? Anyway, I didn't get all of it, so there's still a bit this side. Now, I think that's the issue with this. If it floods, that shit goes over here, blocks the discharge pipe because there's only a little tiny hole there. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to sacrifice my Titan wet and dry vac. I'm just going to suck off the top shit there, and then I'm gonna pour it back in here. And then after I've done that, probably another, I don't know, half hour, I'll be able to test whether it's working properly. Do you want to see something disgusting? Look at that hairy mess. Blech. You wouldn't believe it, there was an actual kink in the hose. So it's taken twice the amount of time it should have done. Right, the state of play at the moment looks alright. You see the discharge pipe there? That has got water in, which it didn't have before. So we just need to put it on a manual discharge now. There we go, baby. There we go. One last thing to do, stick a couple of these in. That I think I'll do two, just to give it like a boost. And that, my friends, is how you save £800. I just said to Luke, if I wouldn't have been able to fix that, I would have had the right fucking hump.